Hola, mi nombre es Frida Mancilla, and I am the playwright of Stars in Your Eyes. This play came out to me because I've been wanting to write something. I've been wanting to write a play for a long time now, and I finally found the time to do it. And at first, I wanted it to be called At the Other Side of the Rainbow. And if you know my personality, I am a very positive person and I love happy things. And I love to inspire people and feel inspired by others. So the only thing I knew was that I wanted to write something that was inspirational. And I really do believe that dreams can come true. And there are like a lot of taboos and ideas, especially that I've seen around myself here in Mexico or in New York City about how performing arts life are like, how it's like to be a performer. And I wanted to explore a little bit of that and to come out with something that felt unique, truthful, and maybe inspire somebody else to follow their dreams as well. Because even though this play is about a girl who wants to be a performer, I really think that the message of the play can apply to any aspect of life. And I also came out with the idea of stars because I love stars. I think stars are my favorite symbol ever. And out of nowhere, I feel inspired by the stars because I relate the stars with performing arts because, you know, when someone is very famous or I was about to say popular, but when someone in the industry is important, people say that that person is a star. So it hit me and I wrote about stars and I started to relate stars with like human life, and that's how it became Stars in Your Eyes instead of At the Other Side of the Rainbow. How my process of writing is like. Honestly, I would like to say that I had a clear idea about what the message was going to be and the characters, and I started to write like brainstorming of little events or conflicts that could happen on the story, but I just sat there at the computer and started typing a story, and that's how it all came little by little. At first, I just wanted it to be just one character, but then I realized that I needed more characters to make the conflict stronger. So I added more characters, like the mom and the other characters that you're gonna see when you watch the play. I also asked my very close friends who also write plays we had like a Zoom session where they gave me notes. I also submit to a writers group with Que Emoción Teatro, and they help me out with some ideas, or they help me out to notice some missing information that I was not able to see. And that is how like I completed it. But also, I started to write this play in January, and I finished it on June. And for like maybe 2 or 3 months, I didn't write at all because I felt stuck. So I left it for a while, and then it came back again, and I finished it. It wasn't a linear process. It was quite a journey. The most challenging thing about writing this play was finding a very strong conflict and developing it. Because I kind of knew what I wanted the strong point to be, but I didn't know how to build it. And I didn't know how the how of the story was going to be. And so I asked a little bit of help from my friends. Like, they didn't tell me what to do, but they told me like some things that were missing. And until today, I still think that for now, this play still have some gaps that I need to fill. Also, it was a little bit not complicated or hard, but the relationship between Lula and her mom, at first I find it challenging to write it as a very truthful relationship with really human imperfections instead of being the black and white situation, you know, because human, we are gray, not black or white. So I think that was the two most challenging things, to like figure out how to build the conflict and the relationship between the mom and Lula. During the rehearsals, I felt comfortable because I think I was working with a very nice and committed group of people who actually love the play for real. And working with Paul is always a pleasure. Honestly, because I think that him and me think very similar, so we never have any conflict of interest or anything. We are like the same brain. So first of all, that was exciting to work with him again. And the other two actresses, they knew what they were doing, and they were excited about this play. They were really happy to be part of this project, and that's very important. We created a safe space for the four of us to just create and be and hear each other and connect with each other. And about the audience, I was a little bit nervous, not about the play or the audience response, but there is a part where, of course, I was reading Lula, and I wasn't planning on reading Lula when I finished the play. So there are some things that the interview said where she's being interviewed, and I felt a little weird because I was concerned about that part of the play for it to seem a little bit pretentious or egocentric or something. Well, you know what? It's a character. It didn't happen. And something that I love is that people were actually connecting with the play. They were reacting all the time. There were laughs, or they were like gaps. They were like reacting to every single moment, every time. Like they were trapped in the story. They were captured by it, and they never flight off the handle or went away with something else because they were liking it for real. And at the end of the play, many members of the audience approached me and said, like, Frida, you wrote a beautiful play. I really, really needed to hear that. I was going through something and I needed to hear those words. Thank you. And someone asked me, like, is that a biographical thing? And I said no, and they said like, well, maybe it's not your story, but it's mine. So it's amazing that people felt very identified with the characters and the story. And hopefully they would like now relate the stars with dreams in life, because if you think about it, humans are like stars, aren't they?